I'm very proud of this dude. I've known him for years. I've seen him build his platform, Activate LA, from the ground up. Ladies and gentlemen, from Activate LA on the line, we have my dude, Ray Funk. What up, dog?
What up, man? Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm so honored and excited.
I know we've known each other for at least a decade, I feel like. Where did we meet? How did we meet? Was it through the Oddcast? Was it through Super Audio Network? How did we meet? Do you remember?
Man, I think we met, man, in 2008, or I remember, around that time, 2008.
Damn, it's been 15 years, 16 years already. Sheesh.
Yeah, you were one of the first podcasters, man, that I actual podcasters, because, it's changed a lot. And no respect to the, newcomers, but because it used to be just audio, as
right.
You can remember. And I saw you in the good old, was it? Yeah, Facebook, Facebook. And Facebook. I saw your podcast, the Oddcast, and I started following you, and it was a really good show, man. And then I hit you up, or I started dropping messages here, so that's how I remember that. That's how we connected.
That sounds about right, homie. Yeah, Oddcast days for sure, man. 2008. Yeah, man. Damn, I've been doing this for a minute. You just put it in perspective how long I've been doing this, dog. Yeah,
I love that podcast.
Yeah, 2008. I used to have to explain to every person what a podcast was. Take yourself back to 2008. It wasn't a word like it is now. So you told somebody podcast, they're like, "What the fuck is that?" Like internet radio. I'll just say internet radio. That's what I used to tell them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your progress with your channel, Activate LA. And before we get started, I'm going to ask everybody to definitely go to Instagram and go to YouTube and follow Activate LA. Great content over there. You will not be disappointed. But I want to learn about Ray Funk today, man. I want to go all the way back. I want to learn about your life and how you got to where you are today. Let's take it all the way back, dude. Where did you grow up?
Oh, man, I grew up in the South Bay, here in South LA, and lived in South Central LA before the 105 existed, man. It was all just dirt fields, and my dad used to take me there, and they used to be like peach trees. I know it sounds weird, but it was the 80s, right? And we used to eat fruit there and just watch the people ride their dirt bikes and do tricks. Then from there, we moved down a little bit south to Gardena. Little small. It used to be called suburb back in the 80s, but and yeah, man. So I lived here most of my life. I try to move other areas, and I'm just used to the cool breeze, and
Yeah, I love LA, man. It's going to be hard to leave. It's unfortunately it's changing a bit, and it's not the LA we used to know. But dude, I love LA. It's going to be very hard for me to move anywhere else if I ever make that decision. But tell me about your parents, man. Where are they from?
Oh man, my parents are from Mexico, man. They've moved over here. Well, not here exactly. They've been from Chicago to LA, from Mexico back and forth. And my family was kind of like, I won't say your typical family, but I was like nowadays, because it's different generation, but more of like the 70s, 80s, where they had to move around different cities, different states, because of work. And cool people, man. Cool people. The more I learned about their state in Mexico, which is Guerrero, it's it's named after the first Afro-Mexicano mestizo Mexican person.
I didn't know that. Break that down, dog. What you know about that?
Oh, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting because a lot of people don't know that actually it's kind of like a big battle, like everything, right? That Mexico's president was black. Some people say that they're like, oh no, he was mixed, and this and that. But Guerrero is one of the biggest Afro-Mexican communities, which is very rich, and sadly, it's not really, the people over there not really recognized as in giving props or help, So it's a big
I'm gonna have to jump in that rabbit hole. I never knew that about Guerrero.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. But it's rich. It's rich in history and in culture to itself.
That's how you got the funk, because you're half black, dog. That's dope.
Right.
That's dope. Okay, so they come to America. Do you know if they came legally, illegally? What's the situation behind that?
No, they didn't come legally, back in the days, because back in the day that doesn't justify it, but at the same time, Mexican people, they used to come and go, it was a difference. Their main motive was in the beginning just to come, make some bucks, and just go back. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of Mexicans back in the days, and build their home, and so they will come and go here from time to time. They'll go back.
I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on the current immigration migrant situation? Have you been keeping up with it actually?
Yeah.
I've done several shows on this, and I can't fault the migrants, for coming. I mean, if America opens the doors and says, hey, come on in, it's really hard to fault the migrants, for coming. I will say this, come now, because if Mr. Orange guy gets elected in 2024 coming up, he's going to probably want to send everyone back. But I can't fault the migrants, man. But it is turning into a really interesting situation. A lot of people would say bad. Migrants are being separated and spread all throughout the country, going to Chicago, New York. A lot are getting credit cards, $10,000 credit cards, put up in hotels. Kids are being taken out of school to house the migrants. So a lot of cities are not feeling it, but what are your thoughts? I'm just curious, Ray.
Yeah. Oh man. So it's a lot to cover, right? But I'll try my best. For one, I think it's the U.S. has always been very welcoming, as in when I say to, let people come in, but it's gotten really bad. It's gotten really bad where one thing is to welcome, it's like welcoming somebody into your house, right? And you bring them in, but next thing you know is just you start seeing a bunch of people just running into your door. So maybe you're compassionate, maybe you want to help, so you try, but then your neighbors start seeing the same thing. Next thing you know, they're just coming in like with not even asking or this and that. It's good to help, but at the same time, like they say, are they coming in or is it an invasion?
Yeah.
Then the other thing, that the way I see is, why is the U.S. allowing this? In a way, kind of, I feel like, okay, we see the news and we see what's going on, right? Like now, there's a lot of migrants that they gone to either Florida, New York, different places, Chicago, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. But they're still not reinforcing the border or trying to do something about it. And I know it's very hard. It's not just like, okay, come on, government, go to the border and do this, right? But I believe in helping people, just like my parents, came to this country, but at the same time, what is going on,
Yeah, the truth is, this land used to belong to Mexico. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And it was, quote, stolen, for lack of better words. You know what I mean? One could spin it any way they want, but California was stolen. I get it. Come back to what's yours, dog. I'm interested to see what's going to look like in 5 years when we just because our homeless problem is already bad with the people that are just here now. Now let's tack on 20 million more people to this land. That's going to be interesting in 5 years.
And I had conversations with friends, people, that see this situation in all kinds of ways, right? And especially like people, some people have told me, man, hey, how can you say that? Some control, people should be able to come in and out. It's like, look, man, everything in the world needs to have an order,
Right.
And I said, if it comes to helping people, like right now that you said, we have a lot of homeless. We have a lot of people that came from Mexico, South Central America a few years ago, 20, 30 years ago, and they're not getting the help. We have the homeless that, they're out.
Veterans,
they're not getting the help. So I believe we should first help the people that need the help from here.
Have you been keeping up with the Puff Daddy's P. Diddy situation?
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So the latest, I guess, this is the latest as of right now, because shit is changing every day. But artists like Meek Mill have been thrown into there. Chris Brown, other artists like Usher have been said. There's this new lawsuit out. I think his name is Lil Rod Hitman. He was one of P. Diddy's producers. Oh. Yeah, and he just said days ago, as of this recording, he came out with all these allegations, and he named some rappers, but they were retracted, or whatever you call it, where they take the name out, but in parentheses they give an idea of who it is, and one of the descriptions of one of the singers that P. Diddy allegedly was having relations with was an R&B singer who recently performed at the Super Bowl. Wonder who could that be? Usher. Obviously. It's like, so they didn't say his name, but they did say an R&B singer who recently performed at the Super Bowl. So everyone's a legend Usher. But I don't know, man. P. Diddy, man. We grew up listening to Diddy music from the 90s and all that. Like, what are your thoughts when you're hearing all this, these crazy ass P. Diddy parties?
Yeah, okay. So, man, I'm gonna take it back. Okay, I don't know, man. Back in the days, and I do understand. When you got your homie, and especially, thank God I have not ever, lost a homie, but I think he made the song. Well, this is what they say. I remember them saying in the streets, right, that they did the song for a homeboy that died, and I'm talking about every breath I take.
Yeah. Every move you make.
So
Faith Evans.
So I was that P Diddy too, or
that was P Diddy. He was the one that put the song together. Faith Evans sang the hook, and then and Diddy sang. Yes, it's kind of hard with you not around.
To me, maybe it's the old Ray, was young, and this and that the way I think, But I was like, it sounded, I don't know, man, like weird. But then at the same time, cool. We're in LA, right? We're in LA, and just like we know a lot of people that are around people that are around the media, and you hear stuff. Even you might not be like around like these people, that are up there, stars or singers, whatever. But you start hearing rumors. I remember back in 2004, 2003, hearing about PZ's parties, man. And there was, people used to joke around, oh, you're going to go, Ray probably going to go. Back then, I used to party a lot. Probably going to go over there to Diddy's parties and this and that. I was like, what the fuck's Diddy's party? So now that this is coming out, I'm like, oh, dude, this dude was probably, or was doing some stuff to these people.
Man, yeah, they're comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein in a sense, man. And we all know about Jeffrey Epstein's story.
Yeah, and especially that part where he paid off the girl that was accusing him. They're saying that especially after he paid off that person, and the case got dismissed. Mm-hmm. They came to a settlement. I think that's the point where a lot of people were like, "Well, hold on,"
Yeah, that was a little too quick, dog.
Yeah,
man. It's a sad situation, dog. And the music industry has always been an interesting one, for lack of better words. Let's talk music, dog, real quick before we jump into the next subject. What was a young Ray Funk listening to?
Man, I was listening to Big Daddy Kane, De La Soul, Soul to Soul, all that good stuff. Public Enemy back in the 1580 K days, where you had to move the knob in order to get the signal. Back when Power 106 was in hip hop.
Yeah, Power 106. Believe it or not, everybody was like more of a pop station. Dance. They had like dance music and stuff like that. Right? Until the early 90s when we were coming up in our teenage years.
Yeah, but now, man, it's crazy. I listen to a lot of funk from, Parliament, Luther Vandross. I like 80s stuff, like Kraftwerk, and of course Michael Jackson, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. The music back then, and I'm not knocking the music today, because there is some really good music out today. You just have to dig for it. But it just seemed like that time, homie, like to me, late 80s, early 90s, even going into mid 90s was my favorite era of music. I would say from like 89 to 95 was mine. When's your favorite era of music? If you could do like a span of, I don't know, 5 years or whatever.
Man. Maybe I was a kid and I always liked dancing, right? So back then, in the 80s, I used to do what they call now New Jack Swing. I don't remember them calling it New Jack Swing.
Oh, yeah? No shit, huh?
Yeah.
Poison? You was dancing to Poison and all that?
Poison, yeah. Poison, a lot of stuff. There used to be a show, I don't know if you remember, called Pump It Up.
Of course, dog, with D. Barnes, man.
Yeah.
Every 11:30 or something like that, right, on a Saturday?
Yeah. man, my boy, you're the only one that knows about. Man, maybe the second person.
I wish I had all those on tape because I would literally record it every Saturday that it came on. I would record and rewatch it throughout the week until the new episode came on the next Saturday.
I used to record them too, man, and that's where I used to practice my moves. So that's, to me, I mean, besides the dancing, I think it was it is actually called the golden era of hip hop, right?
Technically, it is. Yeah, you're right. Actually,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So the lyrics, the flow, everything was new. I don't know, maybe because everything was new, and I was never into rapping, but man, hearing the flow and who's this person? Oh, they're from the East Coast, and what part, and then hearing Too Short, he was for the Bay, for the West Coast.
Man.
He was a little bit different, right? A little bit more aggressive. Talk about this. I couldn't listen to Too Short because they'll take the tapes away from me in elementary.
I'm at a crossroads every damn day, looking back at my past when I sleep, but living on the edge, not doing enough. Iniquity down to my feet. What do I do when I need a little food and I gotta get the money for the rent? Fall to my knees, pray to the Lord, come my son, he can give me some money, repent. What, thank you. I really love you, baby, so I spank you. Life is a wet straight fucking you up. Living in a prison, I'ma shank you. So what's love got to do when you're winning with my heart on my sleeve, I'm a foe. But she said she loved me, she wanted to hug me under my sheets, so it's get told.
And I spy with my little mind's eye, dreams that are beyond what you can see in daylight, baby, ignore the rain. And everything gon' be okay. And while the world burns, I'll be near the skyline, and I'll be biding my time till I can ride the wave. Then everything gon' be okay. Yeah. What are the chances? You're picking a flight, we're leaving tonight. Pack up your bags, we're leaving this place and this baggage. Cause what can we do while Rome is collapsing? But not in a day, we'll be okay.
Two Live Crew. What are your thoughts on Two Live Crew, man?
You know
Do
what?
you feel that they're recognized on hip hop?
I think as the time goes on, they're getting more recognized for what they did. A lot of people don't know. Two Live Crew actually started on the West Coast. A lot of people think they're an original Florida group. If you look into the origins of Two Live Crew, it goes back to Macola Records, and they released their first album out here. They were making noise out here. One of the main dudes is from like Riverside or something like that, or something like that. They went to Florida, linked up with Luke, and then that's kind of happened. But they went from LA to Florida. So that being said, dog, Two Live Crew, and you said two of my favorites that from the beginning, Two Live Crew and Too Short. Two groups that I fucking loved listening to. And like you said, we had to listen to them silently because our parents were like, why is this guy saying bitch and F word every, other words? So we had to listen to it. And my homeboy Ramiro and motherfucking Bell Gardens is the one that introduced me to Too Short, the little white tape. And I was like, oh, I need more of this. And I'm just hearing this guy, and you almost felt like, you're like 11, 12. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be listening to this, but it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then Two Live Crew, they came out, and you remember when they had the situation where they were banned? When they were banned? Yeah, because their music was seen as sex shows and things like that, and it was being compared.
Yeah, that's the part where a lot of people, I feel that they should, in a way. I mean, I'm not saying like, hey, let's the words that they used to say or they say nowadays, this and that. But thanks to them, they allowed now.
The barriers they broke, they got arrested, dog.
That's where twerking came from. I mean,
exactly.
Not where it came from, but it on TV, you know what I mean? That was one of the first moves.
Yeah, because to hear the F word on a tape back in 1988, 1989, that was almost unheard of at that time. That was big. Now it's an everyday occurrence. But like you said, they broke so many barriers, and I do believe that Two Live Crew should go down as one of the greatest rap groups of all time. You know what I mean? I mean, just as far as what the barriers specifically that they broke. There were people running their CDs over. They put their CDs in the middle of the street, run them over. You have politicians talking about them. I mean, looking back at it, that's like some of the best publicity. Like, and that was good publicity too. Like, damn, that just made me want to go out and buy it more. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dusty Vision, I have a question. Speaking of the 80s rap artists, why now? Maybe maybe I haven't been following the news, but also too, who I feel that doesn't get a lot of recognition, and a lot of people don't talk about this female artist, Moni Love. Why?
Interesting. Okay.
Why do people? Or is it just me?
Yeah, you know what? Moni Love doesn't get a lot of respect when you name the female MCs. She was probably most notably on the fight, not the Fight the Power. What's the East Coast anthem that they had? Self-Destruction. Self-Destruction.
Self-Destruction.
Yeah. She was on Self-Destruction, which was a classic. Yeah, you know, you're right, dog. And even me, I'm guilty when I name female MCs. Unfortunately, I rarely include Moni Love, which I should. You're right. You know, she was breaking barriers too.
Just put it out there. I do respect Moni Love. Actually, I'm a fan. I don't want, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. She should be getting more respect. You're right, and that's why our shows are so important. So we can actually do that. And maybe someone listening now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, let me go check out Moni Love." What I heard about Moni Love, unfortunately, and at this part, I do know about Moni Love, is that back in those days, if you didn't have a certain look as a female MC, they were going to pass on you. Moni Love, you know, once again, we're not talking trash, but she didn't look like the Salt and Peppers of the world. You know what I'm saying? She didn't look like the JJ Fads of the world. She was a heavy-set woman, you know what I'm saying? And she just didn't have a certain look. And at that point, I heard that was one of the things that hindered her. You know, it's similar to what happened to Dee Barnes, going back to Pump It Up, dog. I don't know if you know, but Dee Barnes had a rap group called Body and Soul. It was her and one other female. And they refused to sex themselves up and do a certain look. So the record labels were like, well, you got to go. I don't care if you got lyrics. I don't care how good you are. Sex appeal at that time, and sadly, even still to this day, when it comes to female artists specifically, it was a big deal back then. And if you couldn't sell records off your look alone, then they would most likely just say, go do your thing. Sorry, we can't work with you here. And unfortunately, that happened to Moni Love, and it happened to Dee Barnes and Soul to Soul, or not Soul to Soul, Body and Soul. But what do you think about that aspect of females who, you know, just they have to sex it up a little bit? It don't matter if you got bars, you know what I mean?
It sucks, man. I mean, it sucks because the way I see it is. I mean, we have now on the other hand, right? It's 2024. We have a lot of female rappers now, but I feel if a lot of these female rappers from back in the days would have been supported by the media, like the rap game when it comes to female artists, probably don't you think it could have been a little bit different?
Yeah,
maybe more strict, more rules.
Yeah. It's God, the game is just so messed up though, dog. Like everything is about money.
As the time goes by and the earth rotates, we gon' fly high up to outer space. And we would never fall down. I'm one with the universe, call me the sound. The bass booming in your speaker with the microphone I possess, it's a heater. You better drop it, let go. You can't touch my beats or my flow, nigga. Kevin Smith my name, but not the director, we ain't the same, man. I'm a pimp by nature, inside of me is a God the creator. Pursuing my dreams, cause anything is possible, you know what I mean. I wanna live comfortable, but gotta be clean. But working every day from 9 to 5 in my thing. I feel like I'm trapped, can't get out of the bubble. I'm running out of time, overload, I'm in trouble. I feel like I'm trapped, can't get out of the bubble. I'm running out of time, overload, I'm in trouble.
One by one, we start to subtract them. Separate facade from who really bought that action. Feel like I'm trapped in the room without a key. Four walls surrounding me, stripping my identity. Got me in the bubble to observe and deceive. Take away my culture and my nationality. Talking about double jeopardy and double standard to killing my folks like it don't even matter. And when we gather, disgusted by the charades, bullets spray the crowd, target practice in the game. No accountability, so who bears the blame? They want to see us violent and justify the change. Back to how it used to be. Obey or you get beat. It's a different time. You fuck with mine, you feel his heat. Not a threat, it's a promise, real shit. Got the music as a platform for awareness.
I feel like I'm trapped, can't get out of the bubble. I'm running out of time, overload, I'm in trouble. I feel like I'm trapped, can't get out of the bubble. I'm running out of time, overload, I'm in trouble. Let me out of this box. I'm a claustrophobic robot who knows not what he does, cause they program my thoughts. And they tell me support this and hate that person. If I don't, then I'm crucified and made to be worthless. Does a penny with two holes in it have a purpose? When he smiles, they don't really know what's under the surface. I'm a product of pain, racism, and cocaine. I never tooted once, but it's all in my veins. That shit is all in my genes, see? It's my destiny. This is nothing new, kid, I'm just an old recipe. A boring story that you've heard hundreds of times. Blah, 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 wham, 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 hate my life. And my parents both sucked, I'll never be like them. Then you grow up.
Kid Frost was recently on Haters World. Do you keep up with Haters World?
I've seen the show. Yeah, I've seen the show. I'm not
okay. Yeah. Shout out to Haters World, man. He's definitely doing his thing. He has some good content over there. I really like what he does. But Kid Frost was just on his show just a couple of days ago, and Kid Frost mentioned that black rap artists wouldn't have went platinum if it weren't for Chicanos, Mexicans, Hispanics.
My people, if it's gente that's listening right now, you are the ones that made Ice Cube platinum. You are the ones that made DJ Quick platinum. Without our gente and our raza and our Mexican people, these artists would have never sold. These little Waynes and these artists would have never, Tupac's would have never been as big in platinum. Mexicans made these artists go platinum.
Let me break it down for you. Kid Frost said that if it weren't for Mexicans, Chicanos, Hispanics, he said that black rap artists wouldn't have went platinum. He said they wouldn't have went platinum. Now let me break it down from my opinion, and then I want your thoughts on it. I went to a DJ Quick show. I've been to probably 12 DJ Quick shows in my life. I love DJ Quick. Every time I go to a DJ Quick show, I go to a DJ Quick show, 90% of the audience is Latino, is Hispanic, is Mexican. I'm talking 9 out of, and I'm not even exaggerating, 9 out of 10 people. The first time anyone ever told me about NWA, niggas with attitude, the first time someone told me what NWA stood for was my homeboy Ruben Jimenez, Mexican dude. First person to ever let me hear a Too Short tape, a black artist. The first person who let me hear a Too Short tape was my homeboy Ramiro, a Mexican dude. We're in the middle of Bell Gardens, and everybody was bumping NWA. Everybody was bumping DJ Quick. Everybody was bumping Too Short. So I personally agree with Kid Frost that if it weren't for Latinos, that black artists wouldn't be as popular especially on the West Coast, dog. I don't know about much, about down south or, up north, but if I have to speak from my personal experience growing up around Latinos most of my life, everything about hip hop was introduced to me by a Latino. I
see it from the point of view of helping to grow at supporting and going to concerts. And it's true. A lot of, because I've been to a concert with Sugar Free and DJ Quick. And it's on majority, maybe it was the place where I went, but majority is Latinos that they're there, supporting or listening to the music. They could have had a big influence, you know what I mean?
Are you familiar with what Fat Joe said maybe about a year ago? About a year ago, he got a lot of backlash for saying that Latinos helped create hip hop.
It was something about, he said, kind of, I can't remember. Yeah, 50. Well, it was more of a because it was a break dancing because of Puerto Ricans and also two Jamaicans, right?
Right, yeah. Because when people hear hip hop, they only think rapping for some reason. They forget the other 4 elements that hip hop has. You know what I'm saying? And
graffiti,
breakdancing, MCing, and DJing. I mean, and just knowing New York's background and just talking to people in their 50s and 55, 60, they're like, yeah, dog, like my neighbors were Puerto Rican. My neighbors were, Dominican. My neighbors spoke Spanish, you know what I mean? And
didn't Fat Joe say that Puerto Ricans invented breakdancing?
That I don't remember him saying. I don't know if he said that. He could have, if that's a bold statement right there.
Yeah, or because of Puerto Ricans, there's hip hop. But I've talked to people about this, right? And one of the persons that actually is making a documentary is Tariq Nasheed. I think you had him on.
We did, yeah. Lonzo and I have had him on the show. Yep.
And the reason why he's making this documentary called Mic Check, I think, which I think it's, but it's pretty interesting, because he's having giving a lot of history from like when was the first video back in the 50s of people actually black people rapping
pig meat and all that. There's several. Yeah, it's like
dancing with the backslide, doing some breaking moves and everything. So I kind of followed that controversy or little thing that they had going on where Fat Joe, I think, got mad because black people in the West Coast were saying this, Tariq Nasheed, was saying that, and he's coming out with a documentary, which is pretty interesting. I've heard Tariq Nasheed in the past talk about people in the hip hop scene for back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Break dancers, and I know he's pretty controversial. People are gonna be like, "Oh, come on, Ray," But I'm a podcaster. I listen to everything, and
you have to. You're supposed to.
So, what's pretty interesting to me, and it's very important too, for people to do their own research and history, and also to not just listen to one side, because you're gonna miss certain stuff, right? And but I do believe that there's got to be credit given to black people with music.
Your confidence on 10. Everything you pillow talking about, she recording. Share it with the friends, about to have your game exposed. You don't give her what she want, designer bags and clothes, and who knows? You may be spending more though out your pocket. Use a spacey pocket and your chick is known to gossip. No matter about the topic, damn bro, the man Gaddafi's got her whole family feeling like Capital One. What's in your wallet? It's common knowledge, you gon' give it, she gon' take it. All the way down to the penny, leaving your heart to wake it, break it. Never should've made the mistake of showing your hand in the beginning. She figured you out, you playing checkers to the chess who's winning. She grinning, while you give up all the info. Listening for the keywords as now there's a crescendo. Let the drink flow, the gorgon burning slow. She whispers something else in your ear, you like for show.
I know everything you ever want.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I know every song you ever heard.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I know every thought you ever had.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I'm the one that's giving you the words.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
Glass hearts are fragile and too much for her to handle. The puppet just wants to dangle, but everyone wants it to strangle itself. And while he tap dances for mass, he prays to the pastor, asking for forgiveness for his actions. At night she talks to the wind like she would to her best friend. Just a pocket full of change and the sin. It sounds like California oceans, dreams of magical potions, drugs, illusions, and dark roads that your hope is a joking, but nobody's laughing. Curtains closed, wardrobe is asking for the clothes back. The casters at the bar having daiquiris. Mischance, Polaroid, no going back. One pose, you blink, oops, you're bad. Can't blame it on the man behind the cam. There's just one flash, and just like that, time's up, just one chance. Casket closed, buried talent, beautiful grass. I bet you really didn't think that life would go that fast, did
I
you?
know everything you ever want.
Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark.
I know every song you ever heard.
I do believe that there's got to be credit given to black people with music and stuff, and like, for example, with country, right? Country, a lot of people didn't know that was made by black people.
Of
black
course,
people started country.
yeah, Muddy Waters and all those guys. They created that sound that eventually morphed into country. I mean,
and now that Beyonce is doing country, I don't know if she's doing already country, but I know there was like a big.
Isn't that crazy? Black people shouldn't be doing country, motherfuckers. We invented country. They don't even like.
Exactly.
Dog,
So,
all that
check
shit
this
was
out.
stolen.
But check this out. She tried to do, or she had in mind to do country a couple of years ago. I don't know, like a lot of people didn't know, or it was in the process. But there was people. I mean, without respect to white people and all that, But you got to give respect to black people, But people were saying that they were making a big fuss, like, no, this and that, or she's gonna make country. Come on, But it's like, don't, if people let you borrow, like, for example, rock and roll, black people made it. But people think it's
Chuck
only
Berry, man. I mean, he was one of the originators, if not the first guy who made. And then who's those guys that did Surfing USA? They ended up stealing his shit bar for bar. Beach Boys.
Elvis got a lot of stuff from Little Richie.
Dude. All that stuff, homie. They would go to juke joints. They would go to juke joints in like small towns of Tennessee and stuff like that. They go to these little juke joints, what we would call a dive bar, and they would go to these juke joints where these black artists were playing blues that the locals loved. No one else knew about it, but the locals loved. So yes, the white man would go there. He'd bring his little phonograph, or he'd bring something along those lines, and record the music and take it to artists like Elvis Presley and others so they can blow it up.
Like the Elvis Presley movie that they made recently, I couldn't even watch it anymore, but they made it seem like it's like Elvis music was the devil. Oh, that's devil's music. That's devil's music. I'm like, you guys know damn well what you guys are trying to say by devil's music. You know what I mean?
Black people music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just trying to disrespect anybody, but at the same time, it does piss me off, when they try to, they don't give recognition, props. So going back to Tariq Nasheed's documentary, bro, like, it's good that he's doing that because people are getting mad. I don't know if Fat Joe's getting mad. People, some Latinos, Puerto Ricans, shout out to my Puerto Rican Latino brothers from the East Coast, nothing against them. It's just, to me, when it comes to culture of popping and stuff, hip hop it's very important to me, So this documentary, I'm not trying to promote it, I don't know Tariq Nasheed, you know what I mean, in person or nothing like that. But it's very important because you should always question things, Then don't ever allow somebody to tell your narrative. And this goes to my Latinos too, you know what I mean? And everybody, not just Latinos. Don't let other people tell your narrative or your culture.
I think Tariq Nasheed is very intelligent. I enjoy his content.
Yeah.
I do believe he is trying to say with his documentary that black people are the sole creators of hip hop. I do believe. Yeah. If I'm wrong, correct me. But if that is the case, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Tariq Nasheed, because I personally believe that Hispanics were there along the way. We don't know who created what first. We don't know who created this first. We can go back 100 years and just keep saying that was the first time someone rhymed together, and the first time someone did a backslide, and the first time someone did this or that. We can go back years. But I know too many Puerto Ricans, too many Dominicans, especially in their 50s and 60s, and people forget that the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, they come in all different colors.
I do believe there was like a huge influence. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? There was without Puerto Ricans, they wouldn't have been the what it is. You know what I mean?
And I just think I don't like the fact that they're just completely. And I think, if I'm mistaken, once again, for Tariq Nasheed, forgive me, but I think he's literally trying to cut them out completely. If that's the case, then I got to respectfully disagree, because we don't know. Back then, like, I know Puerto Ricans who are darker than my father, who is about as black as Wesley Snipes, and I know Dominicans who are darker. So, and people forget Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, a lot of them identify as black.
I knew Chabadu, rest in peace, because that came to mind, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get involved,
His last name is Quinones.
Quinones, yeah. I think if he would have been here with us, he would have been able to tell us like the true history behind it.
If you look at a picture of him, he looks like a light-skinned black man, you know what I'm saying? But his last name is Quinones. I just can't completely cut out my Latino homies out of this one, man. I love my black brothers. I love myself. I love hip hop, and I know, just even for me, going back, all the ways that I got introduced to hip hop was through Latinos.
And on my side, I'm not trying to discredit or going against that. And there is a huge influence, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm with you on that. Like if he's trying to erase the Latinos from it, or be like, oh, it was only us and this and that. That's that's a different.
Yeah. But shout out to Tariq Nasheed. I'm looking forward to that documentary. I'm because I'm just a hip hop lover. I love hip hop, so I can't wait.
The guy's funny, man. The guy's funny, entertaining. And there's a lot of not controversial stuff, but he's got his thing. He's got his thing going on.
I'm 45 years old, 45 and I'm 31, and I'm tired of it. And you the older generation than me, and I am too. And we've been standing around as the older ones, taking all this bullshit. Always hoping for a kumbaya fucking y'all. Come here. Always standing around for a kumbaya. Ain't nobody coming to protect us. We gotta start our own fucking life.
It's like the message has been lost. How much money does a black life cost? Every time we kill another brother, we keeping people employed who profit when we kill another. How can we make a change instead of pointing at others for the blame? Shit, let's put some gasoline on the flame and burn this bitch down if they don't hear what we saying. Better be strapped for the peace. They talking about defunding police. Gun stores sold out for 6 weeks. I'm smelling something in the air and it reeks. Black lives matter all the time, not just when one of them kills one of our kind. Cause I don't ever see Al Sharpton speaking when Chicago has 30 murders in 1 week.
These 6 things, what we gonna do? You tell me what we gonna do. This ain't the way. Cause they ready to let loose.
How many of them we gon' lose?
It's the United States. President say, if you lose this, you think doing this.
Come on. Hey, pay attention, maybe slow down and just listen. It's my state of mind, I'm dreaming, I'm on a mission. Trying to push the world for peace, no more hate. I got my black fist up in the corner to demonstrate. Let's get it straight this time, movement is all over the world, energy divine. Where were you when the revolution got started? Black people fed up, more than dearly departed. We all living on this earth, we human, nobody rowdy. Marching in unison, George Floyd chanting loudly. How many brothers have to die? We already realize equality's a lie. I'm trying to get it by any means that be necessary. Red and blue lights flashing behind me can be very scary. I see the police before they see me. Get out the car, roll the ground down on
YouTube, dog. You've been in this journey for a minute, and like I said, I'm very proud to see your come up.
Thanks, man.
You know, just seeing you build it from a platform. It's not easy to get to 8,000 subscribers or whatever you are right now. Like you are literally in the top 1 percentile. Most people don't make it to 8,000. Other bigger channels will look and be like, oh, he only has 8,000 subscribers. Screw those guys, dog. Like real talk.
Thanks.
Like no, because no one out there knowing YouTube knows that how hard it is to get to 8,000 subscribers. Not only that, with your own content, you come up with your own ideas. You keep the conversation engaging. The camera is on you 100% of the time. You're interacting with your audience. I knock reaction channels a lot. It's a different type of talent to be able to be engaging like yourself and to carry on a conversation and to interview people as opposed to reacting to someone else's talent. What made you stick to the game? What made you just keep chopping that tree, and what's making you continue to this day? Because this shit is hard, bro. And it seems like we're in a space nowadays where if you're not talking bullshit, if you're not beefing with another YouTuber, if you're not beefing with somebody, calling somebody out, then you're gonna pretty much die. You know what's making you stay the course, dog? Because I'm staying the course my damn self, homie. People don't realize it's easy to get 100,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, I know that sounds crazy as fuck. It is so easy nowadays. All you gotta do is pick a fucking beef, shock value, react to someone else's talent. There's like 5 different ways to get 100,000 subscribers. Like it's easy. I could have been at 100,000 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And you probably could too. But what's making you stay the course, dog, and not fall into that BS?
Well, to continue YouTube, man. I mean, being too invested. For one, I like it, man. I love radio. I love talking, and I got into YouTube, the camera, so I enjoy. But overall, man, what keeps me going is the community you build. The chat, people that come in your chat and talk to you, and you talk to them. Some people share what they're going through. Sometimes they're talking with each other on the chat. The people that are watching. Messages. I'm not going to say, I get a lot of messages and this and that, but every now and then when you get a message saying, hey, thank you so much for the show. I was feeling down, or I was going through this, and and I listened to your show, and thank you. So that keeps me going, man, because it is hard, and it's not do you just turn on the camera, the computer, the microphone. It's once you're done with your content, you gotta cut it. You gotta learn how the algorithm works. Learn about Instagram, TikTok. Now you know what I mean, and tag. Now you gotta learn how to do your own little graphics, the little words. The what do you call the subtitles?
Yeah, subtitles. Yeah.
So if you don't like if you're doing YouTube or any type of content just because of the money, it's going to be very hard on you.
Exactly.
But if you like it,
You're only gonna last. You'll only last a few months. Like people who are in this shit for money. If it were about the money, me and Ray would have quit a long motherfucking time ago.
Yeah. And then I have friends, friends that I've seen, like along the way, like you, do your thing, your channel. I shout out to Dre Day All Day, man. Seeing that man, with the studio, and he's always good with cameras and all that. That it keeps me inspired, always wanting to do things along with other content creators and stuff.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. Just stay the course, and something good is going to happen, dog. Like
thank you, brother.
Yeah, I already know something good's going to happen. Just keep at it. You're going to land that $1 million interview, or someone is going to pay attention and be like, man, I've seen this dude doing this thing. Let me bring him onto my network and give him $200,000 a year to, work for me type shit. Like it's going to happen, man. And that's why I'm keeping at it. And I'm glad that you're keeping at it, dog. Tell everybody where they can find you and what's next for Ray Funk.
Yeah, well, you guys can find me on YouTube. That's Activate LA. I'm not going to say I'm rebranding, but I am actually starting not another persona, but I'm starting I have my other YouTube channel, which is called OnlyFans. Yeah, man, shit, only if I could. No, my other channel is King Activate, and it's on YouTube. I'm on Instagram too. The reason why I'm building another channel is because I'm trying to do my regular content on Activate LA, but when it comes to blogs and things, that I do blogging, because I want to do behind the scenes here in the studio. So my name in Spanish is King. Right, that's what it means. Right, yeah. So that's why I'm naming it King Activate, and also too, Ray Funk is more towards like the dancing side. So, I don't know. Maybe at the end I'll keep it, but I'm trying to build that channel on the side, and also too, as in just in case, because unluckily YouTube flags you for any kind of thing, takes down your video. And there's been interviews where I've done, and they've taken them down, man.
Yeah,
and it hurts.
Yeah,
people that don't do YouTube, maybe.
That's another thing. We do all this hard work. We're trying to do everything behind the scenes, like you just mentioned earlier, all the 5 things, the thumbnails, the this, and that. And all the while, we have to figure out how to tiptoe through these YouTube streets without getting flagged and striked and our channel taking it. All of our hard work disappearing, dog.
Yeah. And please, if you guys want to tune into the lives, tune in on Fridays at 7. I'm going to stop maybe doing the live streams for a bit, because I want to focus more on, I'm going to be focusing more on like a little bit of quality, like maybe more edited. Want to do interviews again. I miss interviewing people. That's one thing I miss. At the time, I'm not going to do maybe in studio. Might be some, but it's going to be mainly on video. I know some people have told me, no, you gotta keep doing it, this and that, but I want to get a little bit better with my editing, because I think I think eventually YouTube is going to make another shift where the live streams right now, they're being heavily pushed. You get a lot of viewers, more viewers than the actual content. Depends on the type of content. In my case, I do true crime. I like doing true crime. That's another thing I'm going to focus on, bringing more cases. And so to compete in that genre or in that community, people like more of the details, and edited stuff. I might be doing a mistake, I don't know, but I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah, it's always good to rebrand every once in a while. If something ain't working, fix it up, switch it up here. So we're always tweaking too. That's another thing. We're always tweaking, the show and tweaking things, So keep doing it, homie. I know something's gonna happen for you big. Just keep at it, man. I love you, brother. Keep up the great work. Thank you for 14 years of friendship. You just reminded me how old I'm getting. How long I've been doing this, man. But I'm gonna keep at it, baby.
Before you go. Who inspired you to podcast, man?
That's funny that you said
that. I know
that.
I asked you maybe, but man, this is just a question.
Yeah, no, I love it. So a big radio nerd, long story short, 97.1, the FM talk station, went out of business, and changed to 97.1 Jams now, or whatever it is. And all of my favorite host, specifically Adam Carolla. If I had to put it to one person, it would be Adam Carolla, because it was his last day of radio. And I remember him saying, I'm going to try this thing called a podcast. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know who's going to come with me. I may have 3 listeners, but you can hear it on iTunes and on your iPod. And I was like, oh, I have an iPod and I know how to have iTunes. So I went to his first show on Adam Carolla's podcast, and what he ended up being the most downloaded podcaster in the history of podcasting. It was just because my favorite radio station ended up going under, and they were a talk radio station, and I wanted something to listen to, and I was like, oh, I think I could do this. And then I connected with the right people, and here I am, man, still broke as fuck.
Yeah. It's gonna happen though. I think like nowadays is more of building your brand, right? Building your brand, and like one of my friends said, if you have an Instagram, you have a brand. So
yeah,
build your brand and create your community.